Hello friends, this is Yrvind, and now we're going to do a little work inside here. This side was done yesterday, and now I can lean against that without getting epoxy. So this side is going to be there. So and well, what's this? Yeah, the boat is still upside down. And here is the glass fiber. It's going to go into it. So, little by little. Hello friends. Now is this area is going to be nice and smooth. There's a lot of edges. Even this is going to be more smooth. So this part, and some fillets up here. So this is it. We do as much as possible on this today, and then later we got things in the back too. So one thing at a time. Hello friends, this is Yrvind, and now I'm steering the fore compartment. I'm gonna do the rest. So I do a little bit down there and do a bit on the front side, and also I'll be doing back here. Well, I slipped. I hold my angle grinder with one hand and the suction with another. And it hit here, made a mark, and also it hit me in the stomach. But no vital parts or damage, so that's okay. So, and I did something all around here. And also in the back here. Put that down, rounded it off. It's now more place for the anchor to get in. So, well, this is a shoehorn. I made a stick of epoxy, of plywood, put epoxy on it. So, that's a good thing. And now, once again, I did not do as much as planned, but I did better. So I put domination here in the front, on the side. So that's a satisfaction, and a pea fly on it, and this is going to be good. So, and like I said here, I've been rounding a bit. This with the angle grinder, and it slipped and it fell, and it cut into my stomach. It was not really a bad hurt, not much blood, so we continue tomorrow with this. But this is like a dent where it fell before hitting the stomach. On 13th of May 1967, it was a Saturday. When reading in the newspaper about the tension leading up to the Arab-Israel Six-Day War, I happened to see an ad for a 14-foot clinker-built open boat. The price was $165. A long summer vacation waited. She was sound, and surprisingly, the sails were made of a new, strong, rot-resistant material named dacron. Not the more common cotton. I bought her. From 1/4-inch plywood, I made a deck fore and aft, and in the middle, a 1-foot-high superstructure. I made 6 windows out of plexiglass. Two on each side, one facing forward and one aft. They were 3 inches by 5 inches in size. Though not big, they let in a lot of light, and with the eye close gave a good view. Their small size also gave some privacy. I did not build a cockpit, thus increasing her seaworthiness and giving a lot of useful space below. To keep me aboard, I surrounded the aft deck with a painted steel pipe. I shortened the mast and stepped it on the superstructure. It eliminated any risk of leaks and would be safer if a stay broke. I caulked her seams, I oiled her on the inside and painted the outside. I got a kerosene lamp for lighting and a small single burner kerosene stove. I put on anti-fouling and launched her. To my satisfaction, she did not leak. Finally, I patched up her sails and sailed out to mother on our island. During a couple of days, I tried her out. In a cove, I found a 12-foot long wooden board, just what I needed. I was going to tie it across the boat to use it as a hiking board. I screwed on cleats and extended the tiller with a stick. Now I could control my boat from the hiking board. After a few more odd jobs, I sailed north up through our many coastal islands. There, during a few weeks, I tested her more thoroughly. It takes a while to make a new boat into a home. One day, when I made a nice salad, I discovered that I did not have a fork to eat with. My eyes fell on an orange crate which had floated ashore. With my knife, I converted some of it into chopsticks. It was not difficult to learn to eat with them, and they served me well for many years. When I was convinced that the boat behaved well in all kinds of weather, I returned home. Next day, I decided to sail to the Danish island of Læsø about 25-mile distance. In 1967, that was still a test of manhood among sailors who owned offshore cruises. I plotted the course, I measured the distance, and estimated that the sail would take me about 10 hours. I left Brende 6 o'clock one morning. A rather strong northerly wind was blowing, but it came from a good direction, giving me close reach. Being eager to get going, I left. It soon became apparent that there was about as much wind as I could handle. But I made good speed and had the satisfaction of seeing the land receding astern. Finally, for the first time as captain of my own ship, I had an unbroken horizon all around me. I was sitting on my hiking board, 3 feet to windward on my boat. I was dry in good oilskins. The boat's underhatch had a high coaming. I felt confident that it would not let in any water. Sometimes waves broke all over the boat and obscured her from view. Other times she lifted over the breakers like a duck, not taking any water on her deck. Hour after hour passed. Finally, the 10 allotted hours were gone, and I still did not see any sign of land. After 15 hours, and with the sun setting, I realized that something was very wrong. I began to worry that the current had carried me to the north, and that I had not only missed Lese, but also the Danish peninsula, and that I was now on my way across the North Sea, heading for England. I had not eaten since 5 in the morning, and after hiking out on my board all day without a break, I was tired, but kept sailing for another hour. The water between Sweden and Denmark is very shallow. I had a 15-pound CQR anchor, 30 feet of chain, and 100 feet of rope. I decided to try to anchor in the middle of nowhere. When I let out the chain and the anchor hit the bottom, it dug in right away. The boat headed into the wind. I took down the flapping sails. Prior to getting below, I relaxed and watched the sunset with fast flying clouds, breaking waves, and a holy wind. This was a wild scenery. During the day, I had so focused on dodging the breakers that I had not noticed the boat's violent movements. Now I felt seasickness knocking on my door, but it never got a grip on me because there was too many other things on my mind, especially hunger. I devoured nearly a whole loaf of bread and drank some water. Then I got into my sleeping bag. With outstretched arms like a crucified sailor, I wedged myself in the narrow hull. Sleep came quickly. I woke early next morning. The sea was empty except for a trawler far away. The wind had moderated and the sky cleared. I ate more bread and got underway. The wind kept decreasing. My boat was Bermuda rigged, but I still had an old cotton square sprit sail from the boat that had sunk, which fitted her nicely. I now set it using my boat hook as a sprit. Its area was twice that of the Bermuda mainsail. In the light wind, the boat went much faster, but what more interesting, and contrary to current dogma, she also pointed markedly higher. So the sprit sail pointed higher than the Bermuda sail. A few hours later, to my joy, I saw a lightship. I sailed closer, trying to identify her. There was now very little wind left. At noon, I was close enough to read "All Boy Booked" painted in big letters on her hull. Despite scrutinizing my chart, I could not find any reference to her, and to my shame, I must admit, I never heard about All Boy Booked. I sailed up to her. The crew who were on deck in the fine weather were surprised to see my small boat. When I gave them my chart and asked them to mark my position on it, they laughed. I was way outside my chart. I had passed Lese far to the south and was now a long way west of it. They told me that I was not far from the mouth of the Limfjord, 100-mile-long sound which cut across the Jutland Peninsula. They told me that it had many beautiful bays and islands, and that it was an interesting place. I decided to make it my next goal. They gave me my compass course and distance and waved goodbye. The weather kept getting nicer and nicer. The sea was now almost flat, with just the lightest of breeze sweeping across it. There was not a sound, and after the lightship had dipped under the horizon, I had now that flat sea all to myself. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the last of the wind had left and the boat stopped. It got very hot, so I took a swim. After I had dried, I went below, had a bite to eat and listened to the radio. Then I sat in the hatch and watched all this wonderful emptiness I had to myself. I felt rich and at home and at one with the sea. Here was plenty of emptiness for everyone. I thought it was strange that only I was out there enjoying it. After a few hours, an ever so light breeze came up, and I continued on a course given to me by the lightship crew. About 7 o'clock, I could see land as a distant, faint line on the horizon. About midnight, I anchored in shallow water near a beach.
to be continued.